Did I make any sense at all?
No, Joe,
You were muted the whole time. We were just waiting for your lips to stop moving.
This is LA Kings Fan Talk with your boys, Rodney, Rob, Darren, and Joe.
We're here. We are here, and we're talking Kings hockey. That alone should get us a like and subscribe. Am I right?
No.
Yeah, from 18,118 people.
That's right.
Is that still the attendance at Staples Center?
What Staples Center? Just kidding.
It was 18,000.
18,000.
Yeah. Anyways.
All right, where do you guys want to start? 6-6 after 12 games. What do you think, Joe?
I mean, it's not horrible. I was curious. I meant to look this up, but did they? I think that's kind of how they started last year because they won the first game, lost 6 in a row, and then I think they won 6 in a row. So they're kind of probably at the same point. Although it's just happened a lot differently. But yeah, obviously the biggest positive is like I did look this up earlier. Before tonight's game, they were I think 6th in average goals for and getting like I think 3.4 per game or sorry, averaging 3.4 per game. So that's awesome. Seemed like they kind of at times have been able to pull their heads out of their ass with the defensive play, and then obviously the elephant in the room is the goaltending. But like tonight, I don't blame on Cal Peterson. He's had bad games for sure, but it was just a ton of turnovers and real sloppy game as we're texting what was going on. But overall, I mean, if they just fix, start fix the goals against, stop the crappy puck management, I guess is what you would call it, defensive zone, just the turnovers and so forth. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot to look forward to. I mean, we got three lines that are scoring. I mean, almost 4 lines that are scoring. So that's huge. So, anyways, that's what I think.
As soon as I heard that the Kings were going to roll with 7 D-men tonight, I should have jumped online and bet all my life savings that the Kings were going to lose.
But was there any explanation for it? Like, I mean, the only thing I could think of is if like the other 2 forwards were sick or something like that.
I don't think he mentioned it. I think he was probably worried about like Edler in a back-to-back with his stamina or something like that. But Darren, did you hear anything different?
I didn't see anything. I was like just as surprised as you were because same thing. Like plus number one, like the lines were rolling really good. I thought in the St. Louis game. So like, why mess with them? But if it's a fatigue issue, just play 6D and don't play Edler if you're worried about Edler. Like and manage Walker's minutes if it's Walker you're worried about. But
it was kind of weird. Normally, coach will play the exact same lineup after a win. He hardly ever changes it up, so that was kind of odd to see.
Yeah, that's why I thought Lemieux was hurt or something, like because McClellan almost never makes a change if he doesn't have to. Like even like last season we were talking about Brown needs to rest on back-to-backs, and if we won the first game, he would play in the second game. Like it didn't matter. Edler, same thing. Like so. But I mean, as far as like the 6 and 6, I think I agree with most of what Joe said. Like we play a good, fun offensive game. Honestly, if you look at most of the games, we have one bad period. It's like Washington, bad third period, Dallas, bad second period. Like most of the games, it's one bad period where we let in 2 to 3, the game gets out of hand, and it's just if we can clean up that one period, I think we have a pretty good team.
Was it the Winnipeg game where they they were up, I think, 3-1?
Yeah.
That was a kick in the nuts. that was just awful. They just flushed that one down the toilet.
Yeah, for sure. Those are the type of games though that like last season the Kings would have those games. It wouldn't be 6-4. It'd be 4-2 where we have 30 more shots than the other team, and it's just like they had puck luck, whatever you want to call it, like. And so I those games you kind of just flush, like you said, but they can just clean up their one period that they seem to be having in a game I think they can do some good stuff.
Rob, what do you think?
Well, I think all the fans are just out of control sometimes with when we lose.
Fire McClellan.
Fire McClellan. Everyone has the right lineup if that they do a better job at running the whole organization. And then when we win, it's like, oh my God, we're so good. 6-6. We were 3-3 our last podcast. We're 6-6. It's early in the season. Yeah, our goaltending's been bad. I think everyone saw it. We've talked about it at length on our podcasts that goaltending is bad, and it's you can say it's play in front. I don't think it's play in front. I don't think Peterson's all that good right now, and I think he can be good. We've seen him be good, right? But I
thought he played well against Toronto. I mean,
sure.
When that game, I was like, all right. I mean, he didn't have to make any like ridiculous saves or anything, but he was steady, and like tonight, like the opposite, like or not the opposite, but I don't think tonight he was at fault. I mean, it was so bad, like I went to go eat dinner in another room for like what 7 minutes or something. I left, it was 2-1. I came back, it was 4-2, and then like the turnover I saw was just so god awful, so soft by I think it was what's his name, Kupari. But stuff like that. I mean, the whole game was like that. Just like
right, but
it could have been worse.
What I'm looking at Peterson. He gets too low. There's so much net exposed up high on him.
Yeah.
And if you look at a lot of the goals that are going in, he's getting beat glove hand high. He's getting bug high. And there has to be some. They got to see something. He's got to change. Something's got to change a little bit because. Yeah, I just don't think he's very good right now. And like I said, I don't think it's unfixable. I don't think, at the goalie position, there's so many little things, little tweaks, and it's a confidence thing. That is just a weird position that you could literally catch fire and then not lose for the next 20 games,
For sure. But sometimes you can win games or even a handful of games over a period of time covering up a goalie's mistakes and vice versa. The goalie can cover for the defense. Sure. And I think what we've seen is when they have a bad game as a team, the goalie's like kind of matching that and just, it's everything goes downhill. Yeah. But it's just a snowball, I guess, and that's what's kind of like a little bit frustrating. Or most frustrating thing is that when, it just to see it just compounds and like all of a sudden you're like, one after another, or at the beginning of the year, I think they kept getting scored on and they would score back right away. But I don't know. And I feel like I think it was the Winnipeg game where they started getting like it was Deneau of all people that led to like the first goal against, which was just such a lazy play, like in the offensive zone. I'm pretty sure it was a shorthanded goal on a power play. But either way, like the puck. Passing up the blue line, like that puck should have gone down low for sure. But anyways, I'm rambling.
Yeah. Thank you. We're 6-6. There's so many good things to talk about. The play of Velarde, the Kaliev being a fourth line guy is third on the team with 4 goals after tonight. Fiala. Even though it's not putting pucks into the net, he's got quite a few primary assists. He leads the team in points, and things are coming along. There's plenty of good things to talk about. I'm not going to sit here and go, oh my God, doom, doom, doom. What we do got to watch out though, because there's 3 really good teams in the Pacific above us or tied with us and above us. Vegas is 9-2 now. Oilers are as good as advertised, and the Flames that with their win tonight tie us for third. We gotta hope we finish in a wild card spot at the least, because it's going to be tough finishing in the top third in this shitty Pacific division. Even though when you're looking at the way things are panning out this year, Pacific division might be one of the better divisions. So.
Yeah, but at least they just got to keep their head above water, right. And then hopefully go, sometime sooner than later go on a little bit of a run and get this cushion with a winning record.
So whether you agree whose fault the goaltending is or not, I think we could all agree that goaltending is an issue.
Oh, absolutely,
and to have the issues that we have and still be 6-6
for sure.
I mean, how positive? That's something you really have to understand. That's if you're going to tell me you have the worst defense in the NHL, you've given up the most goals after the first dozen games in the whole NHL, and you still won half your games. I mean, that's pretty. I'll take that.
Yeah, I mean, the silver lining is definitely just seeing a Kings team that sometimes seems to be able to score at will. I mean, that might be an exaggeration, but I don't know when the last time, if we've ever seen a Kings team since maybe like crap before I was even alive. But like going back to like the early '90s and '80s, where you've got that much offensive talent.
I actually
mean it's early on. Go ahead, yeah.
The last time the Kings were over 3 goals a game was 01-02.
Okay.
At 05-06 they were at 296, and then it was like before that it was like I think it was the '94 team that was like 3-5 or something stupid.
Yeah, which I mean,
so it's like, yeah, it's exactly. So
yeah, it's definitely not something we're used to, and it's definitely welcome, and that's why I'm like thinking too. It's like, would you like rather have it this way, or what if they've lost 6 games where they were lost and they were in it the whole time, and it was just more attritional, versus them just kind of pissing some of the games away.
Right. I think being 6-6, scoring this many goals is a little better than being 6-6.
Yeah.
2-1. 2-1, 3-0, that kind of stuff. Because you feel like if we just tighten up a little, there's a big upswing. We could, there's a lot of upside to the way we're playing. All we gotta do is just tighten up defensively. I think we'll be all right.
For sure.
Let's talk Brandt Clarke. I think we're keeping him. I think management already made that decision. But what do you guys think?
I think he's staying. Honestly, like I everything that I've read is that they're going to keep him pretty good in some of the games, and I think there was a couple games where he's pretty bad. That Washington game, he was pretty bad. And you're looking at me funny, Rob. What's the matter?
No, you call him bad, but you refuse to say Jersey's a piece of crap. But okay, I get it.
No. When have I ever not said Jersey's been bad? I've said Jersey's been bad when he's been bad. Jersey he had a couple questionable plays tonight.
We'd be above 500 if it wasn't for Jersey. Plain and simple.
Either way, I mean,
he hasn't been that bad, really. I mean, that's an exaggeration, right?
No, I think 2 games are directly for Jersey.
Oh, I know one he had a real bad turnover.
The first game, we're going to be chasing that point for the rest of the season. We're going to be chasing that 1 point because of Jersey. That first game, the rest of the season.
Oh, come on. Yeah, you're not serious.
But I think he's definitely earned it. I mean, he's looked better than Walker, Edler, any of the guys below him in the pecking order for sure. So, I mean, to not keep him, I think would be a slight disservice to us and to him. So, us as fans,
I think I don't know. I mean, who knows? They could just send him back down and say they're going to give him 9 games and send him down. But I would assume if they were going to have that as kind of just like an actual start out plan, that they would have spaced the games out a little bit more. Maybe brought in some of the guys that they sent down to Ontario to give them a look, and maybe set up a potential trade. But yeah, which does beg the question: then what do you do with the rest of those guys down there? Which is a different topic, but I would guess they're going to keep him unless who knows? He had his bell rung tonight, so I don't. He might be out for a few games. He might prolong.
I think it was a teeth thing. Because he got hit with the stick. It was the stick more than the head that he was like reaching for. I think he was telling the trainer to check his teeth for him.
Gotcha.
So hopefully it was just he wanted to look like Doughty kind of thing. So,
well, as much as I think he should stay, and I think he should be given more minutes than Jersey, I'll play devil's advocate and sit there and say, The whole reason why we went 7 tonight, 7D, is to say, hey, here you go. Here's your ninth game, and send them back. I mean, I just think it's a little. It's like you all said, McClellan. You could read him like a book lots of times with the things he does. He doesn't like changing things, especially after a win. Blah blah blah. Why today 7D? Why? And maybe they just sit there and see he's not dynamic enough. They're sitting there saying he needs to be a top 4 defenseman. They're looking at him as a 5-6 defenseman. So why keep him as 5-6? Let's go ahead and send him back down and just we'll try it again next year.
For sure. Plus they've got guys down. I don't know how Bjorn Fort or what's the Spence have been playing, but they got guys down there that are serviceable or should be,
right.
So
why start the clock on the contract?
Yeah. And I think at this point, like at first I was like, yeah, if he's good enough to hack it, then let's let him go. But I think he's good enough to play in the NHL, but I don't know that the cost benefit, like I don't know, is he really a game changer for us right now? And I think the answer is probably not so much,
Right.
So, if we got somebody else that can do what he's doing right now.
Personally,
go ahead.
Personally, I think he is. It should go Doughty on the right side, and then Clark. I think he's that good. But I'm not running the team.
Fair enough.
So
I haven't seen him, like, honestly, like, I don't hyper focus on him, but, and this is kind of the cliche, whatever. I don't ever notice him like is doing anything like bad or whatever.
Right.
I do notice him involved in play offensively sometimes, but I never see him making like glaring errors, and maybe he has had bad games, but like to me, for the most part, he's been kind of in a positive way. Not
Rob, do you notice anyone that makes glaring errors?
Honestly, answer seriously, as fans, think about it right now. Who have you said, "Oh my God, son of a, you did it again"?
I'll say for sure, for me, it's Dursey. I just see him get beat so much, turn the puck over so much. I'm almost wondering, like, if a lot of fans, I don't know, are they not seeing what I'm seeing?
And while we're talking about, if you think about it, who you saying, "Oh my God," that I know a lot of people are going to sit there and say, "Well, Kopitar." A lot of people have been saying Kopitar's not this, not that. Save it. It just makes me so mad when people try and say Kopitar's done.
We're saying that's patently wrong. So
yes, exactly. It's just ridiculous.
I mean, he had, like last year, he had like the year where he's the most, like, I want to say vulnerable or whatever, where he was not as consistent, but still, I mean, even then he was still, yeah.
So Kempe's 9 points and half of Velarde's 13 points. Yeah, Kopitar has nothing to do with Kopitar. Okay, I get it.
Yeah, I mean, what's, by the way, which is awesome, that like they're like, for once there's like not him having to lead the charge.
The move of Gabriel Velarde to the top line, and how that's really kind of shaking things up with Fiala going to the third, and there's danger on 3 lines for sure, and maybe Kopitar. Yeah, is he not fast? Okay, he's not fast. I don't think he's ever been fast. Has he really been? But when I look at a guy like Velarde, you can say Velarde's Kopitar speed for sure. But Kempe's flourished with Kopitar last year, and he's fast. He's the fastest guy on the team. So I don't like listening to people talk about Kopitar being slow or this. It's just about chemistry and who fits what. And Velarde has been an instant chemistry with Kempe and Kopitar on that top line. So it's been really fun to watch.
Yeah, I think I said it about we said it the last podcast, where it was like Velarde and Byfield having a ton of chemistry playing because they were able to play the wall and be bigger than everyone. And Kopitar is that, but better than Byfield. So it's like that plays right into Velarde's strength of, we're going to bully you along the wall. We're going to keep it. We're going to cycle it. and we're going to make a mismatch and get a goal. So he's been pretty good this season. We're like 0-4 when he doesn't score. So,
Rodney, that's your boy, Velarde, right?
That's correct.
Well, I think I'm vindicated for my theory of 3 left-handed players in the same line, even with that amount of skill, can present an issue. And I think they were playing. They were playing fine together, anyways. But I think it makes more sense to have that dynamic right-handed player. And we only have two right-handed. At least right wingers, right?
Three right-handers if you count Kupari.
Yeah, but he
is part of like the full-time roster.
Yeah, but he plays all 3, right? Like he plays left, right, and center.
And center, yes, he does. Yes.
But yeah,
yeah, he has a flat stick, so he can play both ways.
But yeah, no, I think the Velarde thing makes my heart warm so much, just because I'm like, you can tell, like, first few games you're like, okay, cool. It could be like he's just having a good few games, whatever.
Yeah,
you can tell he's like a different player than he was before. And yeah, obviously he's going to slow down at some point. I don't think anybody expects him to. I mean, even if he breaks 20 goals at this point and 50 points, it's still considered a success even with the hot start that he's had. He's not a liability on the ice, and he's a net positive for sure. And I think that's going to carry on. You can put it this way. I think it's early to say this, but it looks like he will not be a bust. Like, the skill and all that stuff is pure natural. None of that's luck and whatnot.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that he was like number 3 in points in his first 100 games, even counting this hot start, like he was still putting up points. It was just, I think his expectations were too high for what he actually is going to be. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could safely say right now he's playing like a first-line right wing. I don't know. I mean, he's definitely, I would think, long-term, a legit top 6 forward at this point. But again, we're 12, 13 games in. It's not a fluke. Yes, I'm saying, like, the skill that he was drafted for is, we've seen it, but the consistency is there night to night.
So
he's figured it out, so to speak. At least that's my opinion.
Okay, I got some questions. Come All-Star break, will Velarde be on the top line still, Joe?
I would say more than likely not, just because the way things go, you usually don't stick with the same 3 players on any line. I mean, the only one that really was, like, for my memory, consistent last year was the second line. And they seemed,
even then, that wasn't until December or January that it really started.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, I mean, there's going to be ebbs and flows for sure. So I would say.
So you don't think Velarde will be on the top line come All-Star break?
I don't know. I mean, I think it's certainly possible. I mean, the way.
That's all I'm asking. I'm asking.
But no. But yeah, I mean, I'm not Nostradamus, but
yeah, you are.
I think it makes sense to leave him there until
just make your prediction.
Thing. So this is no, I understand that, but I want to bring up too, like the putting Fiala on that third line, if you want to call it that. The guy can create his own chances and create stuff for other people. I think it makes sense to spread the wealth around. I don't think they're loading up on the top line by putting Velarde there. If anything, they're spreading the wealth around more.
Sure.
And it's not like we're not like a team that only runs, like, we're not running our first line more minutes on 5-on-5. Like, all 3 lines roll 5-on-5. So it's like he's still getting almost the same amount of ice time, even though he was demoted. Like,
so Darren, will he be on the top line come All-Star break?
Velarde?
Yes.
If I was a betting man, I would say no, but I'm going to say yes because I'm not a betting man.
Okay. Okay. So the next question, Darren, Will Fiala be on the third line come All-Star break?
Again, I think so, yeah. Because I think they'll like him there. But here's the other thing too. Last season, Fiala was really good with Boldy. And I think part of what he does well with is playing with the kids, the guys who play a little bit more free-flowing, you know what I mean?
Well,
so I think
people might not be Byfield. People might not be familiar with Matt Boldy was a rookie on Minnesota last year. I think a big issue with that is Matt Boldy's an absolute stud.
Oh, I agree.
But okay, Joe, will Fiala be on the third line? Yeah, exactly. Will Fiala be on the third line come All-Star break?
I mean, I guess if Velarde's on the top line, then maybe, that would make sense.
You guys make sense. You guys make sense.
No, but the thing is, like, we're calling them the third, like, just like I didn't know this. I'm taking Darren at his word. If they're spreading time equally through the four lines and even strength, then you can say it's the third line, but Fiala's going to get top first power play unit time, that's sort of
couple things there. A couple things there. You shouldn't take Darren at his word because they don't. It's not equal. You got to understand Kopitar and Danault
it's within minutes. It's within minutes.
But if he's getting like close to whatever, if he's getting like 17, 18 minutes a night, like even though like he's your highest paid forward besides Kopitar,
and that was going to be my next comment.
I don't care. Like that's meaningless to me.
If he performs at this level on the third line, that's fine. Like,
if that's where the chemistry is, that's where you go, right? I mean, particularly 100%. Because he goes down that line and they have 3 goals yesterday? Was it from that line or
yes,
and a goal tonight?
Yeah. So at some point maybe they'll be getting more ice time than Danault's line. And so I don't, and I'm glad. By the way, I'm glad that happened for that reason. I mean, I think we've talked about this before about spreading the time through the rest of the players in the team, particularly because look, if you're not going to keep Grundstrom long term, but he has potential there, you might as well maximize it now and so that you get something out of it. I mean, I would like to see him be with the Kings long term, and I think where he's at now is great. I would honestly like to send Byfield. I think Byfield really should have started the season off for the minors, and I doubt that's going to happen at this point. But I really think that would be fine to do at this point. I don't know. What, you're gasping?
No, just because
I want to keep the roster the way it is.
No, Joe, I'm just always telling you the counterpoint stuff. I agree with almost everything you're saying.
Yeah,
just the whole Byfield, that is a polarizing.
Right now. I mean, like the team's fine with the way it is. I mean, you could say that he deserves to be there besides Kupari, but I don't know. I mean, again, that goes back to, and I guess maybe I should back that up a bit because it's fine what we're doing right now. We're giving Grundstrom more time. We're actually getting to see Kupari play, and they're playing with a guy who's a world-class talent.
Right.
So this is the time to do it. Beginning of the season. There's not room for all these guys. Somebody's going to have to go.
I'm going to give Kupari a little love, and because he's been playing pretty well the last few games, but he might be the best looking guy on the team.
Hey,
he's a cutie.
Physically,
yeah, he's a good looking dude. He looks like Leo DiCaprio to me.
He looks like a little boy.
Leo. He looks like Leo DiCaprio right after What's Eating Gilbert Grape. He's good looking, man.
So really quick on Byfield. You know how it took everyone is happy about Velarde finally doing well because of all the health issues he had for the first couple of years and everything. But they hardly mention the fact that the Kings moved him over to the wing, and that's when he really started excelling. Is there a chance? I know the Kings really want Byfield to be the next Kopitar, the next big center. Is there a chance that he excels if they move Byfield to the wing? What do you guys think?
I think that experiment's less likely to happen just because of the fact that we have so many left-handed players. If he were right-handed, then I think that would be more than likely more of a chance of it happening. I don't think we're at that point yet. He's got to fit in. He had a spot as third line center, and I don't know why they moved him out specifically. I don't know if you guys could probably fill me in.
They could keep him with Kupari. They just change roles, so you'd still have a lefty and a righty in that same unit.
Yeah, no.
I'm just saying he's a young kid. He has all the pressures of trying to play all the defensive things that centers do. Why not just focus on your offensive game, like they let Velarde do for a while?
Well, I mean, again, we talked about this, but I still think he should have started the season in the minors just to dominate, get confidence. And I don't think he played bad this year. He looked like he fit, but part of that angle, the reason we got onto that topic, because I was talking about we have all these players, and by putting Fiala with Kupari and Grunstrom, you've now really spread the wealth, and there's you have an opportunity to roll 3 lines that have lots of offensive talent. I mean, if anything, you could have that line develop into the line that deserves to be playing more minutes than Danault's line, and have him be a third line center again. I mean, I know that maybe not be popular just because he was productive last year, but he can shut people down. I don't know. Point being is I'm just a big fan of if we could get back to the way it was when the Kings did win cups, they were able to roll all 4 lines. You didn't have a concern about. I mean, obviously, Copeland are still getting the starts in the defensive zone more than I would like to see them actually to move away from that, where it's you have to know to do that and whatever. I don't know. I just like to see the ice time spread evenly, and through that, you're going to have players like Byfield, Kupari, Grunstrom, Kaliev, all those guys are then become tradable assets that if they're producing, because they're actually getting a shot to
bite your tongue.
About Kaliev, I get it.
Bite your tongue.
Players going to get traded. Somebody's going to get moved that somebody likes. It's the bottom line.
No, we talk about that all the time.
But and it sucks. It does suck, but it's a good problem that we have. Did I make any sense at all?
No, Joe.
You were muted the whole time. We were just waiting for your lips to stop moving.
Oh, sorry.
No,
fair enough. Anyways,
so all that to say, you'd be fine if the Kings sent Byfield down for a while.
Yeah, I mean, if he's not going to be playing, what's the hurt?
It's all that to say.
The thing is, I don't think I have I'm not a GM of the team. I don't have that mindset. To me, it's fuck, I would send him down for a week or two, and then send Kupari down for a week or two, and just roll people. I mean, obviously, if people are performing at a high level, then keep them there. There's no usually just shuffle people around. But the problem I had last year and stuff, it's we're depending on the first 2 lines, and then you're putting somebody like Grunstrom, I do like the way he plays and stuff. And I find it funny that you're giving that guy 9 minutes a night when it's we'll run through the boards for you. So you think the coach would like that, and the guy clearly has hands. It's hard to score a lot of goals when you get 8-9 minutes a night, and you're not playing every game, and you're Hey
Darren, has over the last couple games, has Grunstrom's time increased since Fiala's been put on his line? And
yes,
and also now that he's playing on the PK a little bit too, so he's
right. Well, I have those numbers. I mean, I just looked at them before we got on. That Grunstrom's playing is almost 12 minutes for the season, which is 20 seconds more than Lizotte and 40 seconds more than Kaliev.
Well, he wasn't playing more than 10 minutes tonight last year.
He's up. His average is up to 11:47 now.
That's good. I mean, I just think coach would like him more. It seems like
60 minutes would be better, right, Joe?
No, not at all. I don't think that at all. I honestly, where he's at right now, getting to play with people that have talent. I think he has the ability to potentially be a second line forward. And I think if the Kings do move on, that he will probably get there eventually. Now, the Kings probably have players that are. I mean, Rob will hate me for saying this, but like I would keep him over Kaliev. Like to me, Kaliev's kind of a one-trick pony. Like he's got a great shot, like, but I don't really see him doing a whole lot other than scoring, like, great goals, great, amazing shot. To me, like, Grundstrom's more of a complete player. So if you're to me, Kaliev should be the player that you expect to be a 30-goal sniper. I think that's what his.
He'll never be on the fourth line.
What's that? No,
I know. Be on the fourth line.
No, and I know that. That's what I'm saying for Grundstrom too. Is like, if we want those players to get to that level, you can't just give them 7 or 8 minutes a night, like what was been going on the last year or two. So it doesn't matter if it's Kaliev, Grundstrom, even Byfield, or whoever, any of these guys that we think have a high ceiling. You got to play them. Like, you got to find a place to put them, and it can't be just for one night, So that's again why I don't know. I mean, did Coach explain why he put Fiala on the third line versus was that a promotion?
He was saying it was like a system thing. He wasn't fully making the right plays, and he wanted to break up that line. And
I mean,
Kempe and Kopitar have the chemistry, so he wanted to move Fiala. That was kind
for
of
sure. I think. And the thing is, Fiala was still producing even on that line, but if he can produce at the same level playing with Grundstrom and what's it,
Kupari,
or Byfield, then you do that all day long because you're spreading the wealth. Like, and I don't care how much he gets paid. That, to me, it makes no difference. If the guy can produce 60, 70 points, and he's not playing with Kopitar and making that money, then that's awesome, because that means you're presumably getting production out of
2 lines,
or 3, hopefully,
Yeah, right.
I took 3 Adderall today.
That one he's leaving in. Grundstrom is probably a little more complete player. I agree, but I'll take Kaliev over Grundstrom all day long.
That's fine.
It would be fun to see Kaliev with Fiala passing there. Would be awesome.
And you got to understand also, by the time you're 24 years old, like Grundstrom is, he does need to be showcased, right? He needs to be given a legit chance. He needs to be given the minutes, so we know what we got. Can he or can he not? So I do agree with you about all that stuff, and I think he's capable.
Yeah,
but if he gets shipped away in a package deal, I'm still a fan of the Kings.
Me too. I don't love him that much. I'm not a player guy, anyways. First place, the whole reason that kind of became my thing was just more of like, why isn't that guy getting time? Like, he's like, I repeat myself, but like, just the guy does the things that you would want a player that's playing. If he's supposedly a skilled player, he's getting his hands dirty,
right.
And playing the game the right way, then you're not getting rewarded with the play with the very skilled guy for a couple extra minutes.
Right. And being fans, the fans that we are, we like who we like for the reasons, right, that we have. I love our first line because they're all 6'2", 6'3", 200-pound studs, and Darren likes the second line because they're 5'10", 5'9", little guys. So
well, actually I thought about this the other day, though, like, for real, in relation to like our little discussions here, is there's not a player that, like, that I don't like on the Kings right now, where like it's a person or a player where you're just like, he's gonna screw stuff up.
There's one.
Peterson.
Yeah, it's Peterson this season.
Yeah, and Peterson, playing goal. I'm like, all right, yeah, well, we're probably gonna lose, but.
So I'll take that a little further, Joe. There's usually a guy that just irritaits me.
He's the Muzzin.
No, Muzzin never irritated me either. But there's been guys that irritate me. But Peterson doesn't irritate me because I like Peterson a lot and I want him to do well. So it makes me feel sad when he's not doing so well. And even all the Dursey talk that I talk crap about Dursey, he doesn't irritate me because I think he's pretty damn good. But he's just dumb. He makes bad decisions. He's worse than Doughty.
Well, I think he's like kind of guilty of trying to do too much this year.
Right, exactly. He's like, trying to do things he can't do.
Yeah.
Trying to out earn his contract.
Yeah.
For sure. I think if he just like
move him to
right wing. Maybe move him right wing. No, but if he just made the play that the coach wants you to make,
right,
versus spinning around and trying to blindly pass across the center.
All that stuff he did last year when he was, dropping gloves and sticking up for guys and all that stuff. That's very endearing. You sit there and go, I like watching those players. So nobody irritates me at all on the team like years past.
What's funny about like that topic in general, like of defensemen getting crapped on by fans or whatever. And you can go on like any like team's page on like HF boards and read comments, and it's just like there's always like some scapegoat, and it's like usually a defenseman fucks up for the most part. It's like, whatever, he still scores. He scored 2 goals last night. It doesn't matter that he threw one up the gut, and then ended up in the back of the net. You can look past that. When you're a guy who's your only job really is your focus of your job is to make sure that the team doesn't score, get good offensive chances, and you make bad plays. It just people hyper focus on it. I'm honestly if you read like every team's fan page on HF boards or whatever, you would imagine that there's like 3 good defensemen in the NHL. That's it.
Exactly.
It's like and Drew Doughty wouldn't even be one of them. Like
right.
So it's definitely from being a fan's position, it's very fickle.
Hey Rob, since the Bruins are your second favorite team, seems like you're always bringing up the Bruins when you make comparisons. But do you watch a few of their games?
Yeah. What
are your thoughts on Derek Forbort now that he's a Bruin? How's his play?
Well, it's still the same as it was not on the Bruins. It's
okay. I didn't know. Okay, and then what about
McNabb?
Okay, so now that you bring that up,
uh-huh.
I was just thinking about McNabb just the other night about how I liked him so much when he was with us.
He got so much crap. Like if it wasn't him, what's his name? Muzzin was that person at some point. Whatever, the Kings had like one of the best defensive teams like through 2012 through 2014, and then you go on the Kings message board, and then people are crapping on one of the 6 guys, and it's like, Scuderi, even when Scuderi was good, people would harp on him. It was like basically like, Robin Regehr, like, he's slow.
Matt Green. People used to talk crap about Matt Green being too slow and crappy.
Which he was, but
Matt Green's one missing on the Kings.
Block shots. So it's just I don't know. It's hard for me to be critical like defensemen unless they're like just glaringly bad. And I think I crapped on Ollie Mata last year, but he was definitely a turnover machine, a lot of soft plays, whatnot. But he also again.
It's one of those things too where he earned it at the beginning of the season, but by the end of the season, he was a really solid defensive defenseman for us.
Yeah.
Darren, anything to talk about?
I can, we can talk about how we need to fix our friggin' penalty kill. If that's the one thing that's killing us in those bad periods.
Coach Darren.
I have no clue how to fix it. I don't think there's different guys who they want to try out there because our defensive forwards are the guys they put out there. So I don't know if it's a goaltending thing or a style thing, but
you just answered it.
Yeah, maybe.
The big cliche, your number one penalty killer's got to be your goalie.
True. I have noticed though, since we moved to that wedge +1 system that a lot of the rest of the league likes to run, where it's like they keep the 3 guys in the middle, and then they have that one forward who has to sit there and go back and forth and back and forth. I don't know if that system works. Like it just doesn't seem like it works for the Kings guys. Like I don't know if it's just because like Kopitar and Dano are so used to playing the box, and now we're asking them to try and play a different system or something. But I don't know.
Quick shout out to the 2 LA Kings Fan Talk fans that recognized me in line at the Kings game.
Oh day. Yeah, hey guys, we got a celebrity alert.
So, quick shout out to you guys right there. I wasn't even wearing my hat, and they still recognized me. Anyway, good dudes.
Oh, the meet and greet in Vegas went well.
How'd that go?
You know, had like 7 guys show up and say, "Hey," and then I asked them for their autographs.
What are you talking about?
I was in Vegas last weekend, and don't you remember we were going to had the little meet and greet?
I missed.
Oh no, yeah, you weren't with us the last podcast. We're talking about.
Was that the one in your bedroom? All right, Kings fans, that is our show for today. As always, stay classy and go Kings, go.
Go Kings.
Yeah, go Kings. All right.
Yeah, go Kings.